The anime tells the story of a young man named Lu Shu who got abandoned by his mother when he was a little child. His mother gave him to a lady saying that she's going to get some medicine for him, but she never came back, so the lady admitted Lu Shu to an orphanage. At the present time, Lu Shu is at a festival with Lu Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu tells Shu to get her some pumpkin candies, but Shu declines it as he has a lot of other expenses to worry about, like the tuition fees. Xiaoyu then starts to blackmail him, saying that he has changed, which forced Shu to buy her the candy. Afterward, as they were talking, Shu hears people talking about individuals appearing with superpowers, which makes him think that this news is becoming more and more common. They then want to watch a fire show, but it was hard to see it properly from the back, so they went in the front. There, something weird happens to his necklace, which has a walnut attached to it. He wonders if the guy performing the tricks is a magician or he has superpowers. After the show, Xiaoyu requests to go backstage to see how the fire show was done, but when they go there, they see a group of people that made the fire show guy unconscious with a dart. This caused Xiaoyu to scream, which alerted the guys, but luckily they got out of there safely by telling them that they were searching for a toilet. On their way back home, they are greeted by a man named Ji Wei, but Shu ignores him as he was just too happy. Shu thinks the people he saw backstage probably hunted people with superpowers. As they were talking, Shu tells Xiaoyu to call him brother, but she replies that they are not blood related. Shu jokingly threatens to drop her back at the orphanage, but Xiaoyu isn't worried about it as she will just come back to him. Xiaoyu sees something being cooked by the neighbor next door and asks if she can have a taste, but Shu drags her away as if it was some medicine for an old man. At home, Shu gets ready to cook some noodles for Xiaoyu, but realizes that there are no noodles left in the house. Xiaoyu tells him to get instant noodles as the noodles he makes are not good. Shu goes to get some noodles whilst also remembering the past when Xiaoyu stood up for him every time. Shu, lost in his thoughts, gets hit by a truck while he was crossing the road. As he lay almost dead on the road, his necklace started to glow and gave him superpowers, which immediately healed his injuries. He gets up and asks the driver of the truck for some compensation in form of money. As he was talking to the driver, he saw a random number pop up on top of his head. He goes back home and takes a shower as his whole face was covered in blood. While showering, he realizes that he doesn't have a single scar on his head. While he is sitting on his bed, a screen pops up in which Shu can buy things or spin a wheel to get random goodies. He gets a strange fruit from the screen, which replenished his energy instantly. Afterward, he gets a strange paper from the screen and sings a children's poem. This teleports him to space where some celestial bodies are spinning around a bigger one. There, Shu also realizes that he gets money to buy things from the screen when people around him show negative emotions towards him. While they were eating dinner, they saw on the TV that a huge fire had erupted in the city. Shu goes on the roof to check the situation whilst telling Xiaoyu to stay inside. On the roof, he sees the black coat people that he saw backstage at the fire show. The black coat guys hear a noise, so they move towards Shu to check it out. Shu picks up the dried radishes from the roof and proceeds to go down, but the men stop him at the last second. They ask who he is and what he's doing up there. Shu replies that it's his house and he was just picking up some dried radishes. He goes back home and tells Xiaoyu that they need to talk when suddenly the body of the entertainer at the fire show falls in front of the house. They go outside to check the body. Shu thinks that he might have started the fire and escaped the black coat people. The guy is actually awake, but he's just trying to act unconscious. Shu continues to tease him as it will generate money from him, so he can buy things from the screen. The man tries to burn Shu, but it doesn't have any effect on him, so he just goes away. Xiaoyu asks Shu why he wasn't burned by the flames, to which he replies that he has superpowers now. In his room, Shu obtains a celestial fruit by spinning the wheel from the screen. He eats the fruit and gets his consciousness transferred back to space. He unlocks even more power, which he confirms by lifting his bed with one hand. Afterward, Xiaoyu tells Shu why he didn't go to the class reunion. Shu replies that it just costs too much money, and moreover, he has eggs for Shu that he's going to sell tomorrow. The next day, while he was selling eggs, the class leader comes with his friends and tries to bully him. Shu manages to trick him into buying all the remaining eggs. The class leader, Liu Li, brings out a card and tells Shu to get a card machine that he probably doesn't have, but another classmate, Cao Qingzi, comes to his rescue and lends Liu the money so he can pay for the eggs. The next day at school, the children are discussing the fire incident that happened yesterday when suddenly another student came inside the class. He tells the class that someone has awakened and is holding a teacher hostage. The awakened person, Li Qi, went to the roof and threatened to throw the teacher off the building. The black coats were there too, but they were forced to stay back. Seeing this, Shu steps in and tricks Li Qi by constantly talking, which allows the other to capture him and save the teacher. The next day in class, some scientists are taking blood samples to see who has awakened. Shu was also forced to give one. While going back home, he sees Ji Wei but moves past him again, saying that he is too happy. Shu goes back home and learns that Xiaoyu has a fever. He tries to get the stellar fruit by spinning the wheel on the screen and succeeds after a couple of failed attempts. He gives the fruit to Xiaoyu, who immediately recovers after eating it. He gives Xiaoyu more fruit, which makes her ask if she will be awakened soon. The next day, the teacher reveals that the Black Coat is forming a Dao Yuan class for the awakened children and Shi Fei will be their teacher. Afterward, the names of the people joining the class are said. When Lu Shu was called as well to join the class, the whole class got surprised and started to look at him. At the school, a student named Jiang Shu Yi joins the class. He sits beside Shu and surprisingly doesn't mind much when he teases him. Afterward, at the Dao Yuan class, Shi Wei shows everyone a sodium-potassium alloy and tells them that when they drop their blood in the alloy, its color will change depending on what their power class is, which can range from A to F. He also reveals that 17 months ago, there was a change in the environment that gave people skills and produced some strange phenomena. When the results of the sodium test were announced, Lu Shu got the lowest grade, which is F. At home, Lu Shu wins a stinky tofu from the spinning wheel. He gets a ton of tofu before getting a mysterious page. This mysterious page converted into energy and went inside Xiaoyu, which made her see the planets like bodies in space, just like Shu did. As he was going to school, he saw a neighbor next door, Li Xianyi, practicing his sword skills. He offered Shu to learn the skills from him, but he denied it. Shu then sells stinky tofu by managing to get a lot of it through his powers. The tofu surprisingly got a lot popular and he made double the money as compared to eggs. At home, Shu eats a celestial fruit again, which transported him to space. Shu gets a mysterious sword and realizes that the celestial bodies he sees are actually the 7 nebula stars revolving around his soul, with each nebula star unlocking more of his power. At school, Liu Li acts cocky and offers Shu to work as the driver of his father, as he would probably make more money doing that, but Shu declines the offer, saying that he is happy in his life. In the Dao Yuan class, the students get a spirit stone that allows them to cultivate their powers. Shu uses it at home, but it makes his celestial map violent, so he stops. The next day, Shu asks Jiang how his practice went. Jiang tells him about everything, which makes him think that he has so much knowledge. At the cafeteria, Liu Li arm wrestles with Shu and gets defeated easily. Shu acts like the arm wrestling has awakened powers inside him, just so he can embarrass Liu and get the money for his powers. At night, Shu realizes that the Heavenly Network has visited Li Xianyi to give him herbs for his illness. The Heavenly Network asks Li to join them as the last member of their network, but Li declines the offer. The next morning, Shu asks to learn from Li, but he doesn't have time, so he gets Li to teach Xiaoyu and act as her tutor. Everyone thinks about Cao Qingzi as the best in the Dao Yuan class. All this makes Shu notice her as well. At home, Li is teaching Xiaoyu her work. After the work is finished, Li brings practicing material to help Shu with the sword, but he lifts the heaviest weight quite easily. Li demonstrates his power by slicing the concrete in a straight line with a piece of paper that was infused with his powers. Afterward, Shu practices with the sword and manages to get really good at it within a short amount of time. One day after training, Li asks Shu if he will take on more responsibility if he has great power one day. Shu replies that all he wants is to protect Xiaoyu and live a normal life. In the morning, Shi Shuejin visits Li. Shu detects this when the points he gets from negative emotions pop up on his screen. He rushes back home and talks with Shi. Shi also offers Li to join the Heavenly Network, as a lot more ruins will be appearing, and they will have herbs for his medicine. After he left, Li tells Shu that Shi is a level B practitioner. Li gives Shu sodium alloy to check their power level. They both get ranks that are so strong that aren't even on the table. Shu hides the test tubes and tells Li that he just got an F again. At home, Shu unlocks another nebula star that protects him from injuries, whilst Xiaoyu also unlocked the first layer of the nebula. Xiaoyu reveals that she can revive dead beings as a shadow, and these beings will do whatever she tells them to. To test her power, Shu takes her to a pig farm to capture a dead pig as a shadow. Xiaoyu summons the pig back at home, and Shu hits it to check if it will behave like a real pig. It indeed did behave like a real pig, but it was an energetic body. Shu then kills the pig with his sword, which makes Xiaoyu extremely angry. As compensation, he offers to make her scrambled eggs for 2 weeks. As they were eating, they detected powerful people fighting with each other, so they went to check it out. Shu sees that Shi Fei is fighting 3 thugs with other members of his team. The thugs killed 2 of his team members and fled the scene when the police arrived. The police, along with Shi Fei's group, raid the building the thugs were hiding in. Meanwhile, the 2 thugs tell their leader that they should surrender, but the leader says that they have already killed 2 of them and there is no chance that they will be left alive. He takes the thugs and tries to escape, but he's eventually cornered by Shifei's group when he is stabbed in the belly. The leader fights with the others while Shifei notices someone else in the fight scene and sends some of his team members to fight him. He didn't realize the man was Shu. The leader defeats all of them and only he and Shu remain. Shu powers up and they both exchange punches with each other, but Shu was so strong that even by colliding his fist against them, he broke his whole arm and killed him. Shu goes back home and tells Xiaoyu that he is going to take her somewhere to collect someone. As they were going out, Li asks where they are going, and Xiaoyu makes up a story and says that they are going to eat something. On the way, Shu gets Xiaoyu to summon a bird so she can check if there are any suspicious figures nearby. They arrive at the scene of the fight and Shu asks Xiaoyu if she can detect any dead energy. When she says yes, Shu tells her to swallow the tallest and biggest one. He then tells her to summon it, but she needs 1 day to do it as he is too strong. Shu prepares to go home, but Xiaoyu actually wants to go eat dinner now. While they're eating, Shu tells her that she will live a better life in the orphanage than with him. Xiaoyu says that she doesn't care about anything, whether it's clothes or food, as long as she gets to stay with him as he is her family. Shu remembers the memories he has with Xiaoyu when she would constantly escape the orphanage to stay with him. The scene then shifts to a Heavenly Network group who are discussing the fight between their network and the thugs. They're also discussing who the mysterious man was, as it is worrisome that a sea-level practitioner that no one knows suddenly appeared. Afterward, Shu continues to annoy people to get points from them, whilst also selling his stinky tofu. In the middle of the night, Xiaoyu makes Shu open the door of his room to show him that she has managed to summon the man they captured. Shu tells her that she needs to use her power with care as they can't let others know about their powers. She tells Shu that she knows about the location of the money the thugs had hidden. She wants to get that money so they can buy a house, but Shu tells her that they can't buy a house using the wrong way. At school, Jiang tells Shu that the change that happened 17 months ago is called the revival of the spirit. He tells Shu about a blessed land where the spirit energy is overflowing. Shu also learns that a member of the Heavenly Network will be distributing more spirit stones today. Meanwhile, Li Yixiao, the new director of the school, doesn't want to give a speech as his money is at the police station, but Shifei tells him to have someone collect it and just give a speech. In the Dao Yuan class, Li Yixiao shows the video of the fight between thugs and Shifei to the students and asks if they would be able to fight them. He tells everyone that they will become a member of the Heavenly Network eventually, and he will be his superior. He also tells the student to give out any information they have about the mysterious man, who is actually Shu. Afterward, they give spirit stones to the students based on their levels, and Shu gets 2 spirit stones. He later meets up with Jiang and asks him about the price of these stones, as they are of no use to him. Jiang contacts a man he knows and helps him to sell the 2 stones for 240,000. Back at home, Li Yixiao arrives to meet Li Xianyi. He asks Xianyi about walking level E-skill skeletons at the top of the mountain, but Xianyi says that they aren't any of his men. He also tells him about the appearance of a level C person that has skills in swordsmanship. Hearing this, Li Xianyi gets startled a bit. When Shu arrives home, he shows Xiaoyu his checkbook and the money he has and proceeds to give her a cell phone as a gift. He also tells Xiaoyu that he is going to buy this house for them tomorrow. The next day, Li Yixiao arrives at Shu's stall and gets some stinky tofu. He takes the tofu for free and tells Shu to come to him if he has any problems at school, though he gets scolded by a person who sits beside Shu, which forces him to give Shu the money for tofu. And that concludes our recap for today. What a mysterious anime. I wonder what will happen next. Let us know in the comments what you think, and I guess we'll find out in the next episodes. Also, drop us a like and subscribe to Annie Recapped for more amazing content like this on your feed. With that said, we'll see you in the next one. Peace!